Hey guys, welcome back to our channel. I am so excited about this video today because I think every one of us can use a little enlightening or a fresh idea on how to decorate our house properly. Well, this video covers all of the facts for you. And this video is a little different because it's what not to do when you're decorating your property. So this would be a fantastic time for you to subscribe to our channel, support the channel because we love giving you content, and this shows us that this is what you want. So bring the subscriber numbers up for us, help us out, subscribe to the channel, like the video. Now let's get rolling. Tip number 1, don't start a project without having a theme. That could be inspo on the internet, it could be magazines, it could be a friend's house you've been to, or even a hotel. Anywhere you look should inspire you. And that definitely does the job for me. I could be at any store and I'll see some kind of nice finish and think, oh, that would be beautiful for this project. Or I could be at a hotel and see the beautiful ceiling details and get inspired by that for my next project. So before you start your project, narrow down your ideas into, I would say, almost like a mood board. And in this way, you're collecting your ideas, you're creating a theme for your house. By not doing that, you're actually confusing yourself more because you might like a little bit of this and you might like a little bit of that. Well, putting them together might actually not work, or it might, but having a theme gives you peace of mind and confidence when you're designing your space. Now for tip number 2. At all times, avoid using the wrong size furniture in your space. And I say this because I know we see a lot of furniture in the videos, on Instagram, on Pinterest, and you think, oh, that sofa would look perfect in my family room. Well, now you come and get that sofa for your family room and you realize, oh my God, it just ate up my whole family room. And then you're in trouble. To avoid any mistakes, make sure you measure out your room first to ensure that that piece will fit in. And a part of that is making sure that you're not using furniture that is too small for your space. Because sometimes you have these big walls, you have big rooms, and you have little pieces of sofas, like 76-inch sofas. Well, a 76-inch sofa would be great for a condo or a smaller bedroom or a smaller living room, but it might not actually work when you put it in, say, a room that's 15 feet by 20 feet, because now that sofa is gonna look too small. So make sure your sizing of your furniture is right and the layout. So the layout is very important because you wanna make sure that you have a flow in that room. You do not wanna be blocking walkways. You do not wanna have too much little pieces scattered around so people have to walk around. Make sure your layout is around the room with, for example, accent chairs facing your sofas with space in between so people have room to kind of walk through. Don't block the actual walkway area or anywhere that somebody needs access to walk around to get to another section. So just to give you an idea of spacing, when you're dealing with a room that is considered tiny, you're generally dealing with like a 7 by 10 foot room. And a small room is about 10 by 13. A medium room would be 10 by 18. And a large size room would be 15 to 20 and up. So for example, if you're dealing with a wall that's 10 foot long, you want typically your sofa to be around 8 to 8.5 feet long if you're planning on putting end tables on either side. And that will give you about 20 to 24 inches to play around with your end tables on either side of your sofa. For a sectional, on a 10-foot wall, you would be looking at around 8.5 feet because you want that 1.5 feet for space if you want to finish it off with an end table or just some breathing room. And on to number 3, and one of my biggest pet peeves because I feel that it actually can destroy a whole room, a whole design concept, is choosing the wrong size rug for your space. And that typically goes for the living room space. So either living room, family, or great room. Too many times have I seen all these beautifully designed rooms and then they have this little 5x7 rug sitting in the center with the coffee table kind of eating it up. This is very wrong. So typically you want to be on the outsides of the furniture with the rug. This is the proper way when you're designing a house, your own house, a client's house, to lay out the room. So the furniture would be sitting on top of the rug. Now, if you're staging a room, it gets a little bit more complicated because having a, say, 10 by 15 size rug is something more custom. You're generally dealing with the large sizes being 8 by 10 or 9 by 12. The feet of the furniture would sit at the edge of the rug, which is still correct. It's not a bad thing to do that, but ideally you want your furniture to be sitting over the rug. However, many times we see the wrong size rug being used. So a 5x7, imagine if your sofa is 76 inches, you are barely just covering the length of your sofa. So anytime you have a 5x7, it should be in very small spaces like an office, a foyer, or a small little sitting area. If you have a living room, family room, or a great room, minimum size you should be looking at is like a 7x9, 8x10, go up to 10x12, and then up to the custom sizes. But your rug will really finish off the space, so make sure you're wearing the right shoes for your gorgeous outfit. All right, now talking about all of this furniture has me thinking about artwork. And I know all of you love it when we style these beautiful properties with all these beautiful pieces of art. Consider this. Imagine 1, not having art, or 2, having the wrong size art. Yes, it would completely dismantle your project because going from luxury and elegant, now you're going to something that's not proportionate and just doesn't look right. And artwork can do that. It can actually define your space. The trick to choosing the right piece art is look at your space, look at your wall, look at your room. And then when you're looking at your room, identify what are the focal point. Where is it that you want the eye to go to? And it probably will not be every single wall in that room. So you're gonna have to choose which of those walls speak out to you. Which one is the most prominent wall? And then from there, you start choosing your pieces. So if you have a large size wall, say a 10-foot wall that you're working with, and you have an 8-foot sofa sitting underneath it, you wanna make sure that if you're doing a single piece, you're edge to edge of your sofa. You don't wanna be outside of it, you don't wanna be inside of it. Being inside of it means it's too small. If you wanna go with a 2-piece, again, you want to be proportionate with the sofa. However, you do get a little bit more wiggle room, I would say, because now you're gonna have end tables on the other side, and you're gonna have maybe table lamps sitting on them. So that would actually extend what is happening on the floor, which would allow you to open up your artwork size and go a little bit larger. Then the third option is to do something really wild and fill up the whole wall, which is perfectly fine too. Again, as long as your pieces are proportionate with the wall, you are okay. The worst thing that you could do is have a 10-foot wall, have an 8-foot sofa sitting under it, and you have, say, a 4-foot frame sitting right over your sofa. Lonely and very sad. So you don't want to be doing that. It doesn't look good. It doesn't do anything for the space. I would rather see nothing there than see something this big sitting over your sofa. So choose wisely. So you guys all know me too well by now and know that I love to save my favorites for the last. So number 5 on the list of what not to do when decorating your property is thinking that you have to match everything in the house or in the room, which is so not true. Don't do it. Don't even think about doing it. But what you should be doing is, again, going back to the first step, have your theme, And start being mindful of the pieces that you're choosing because each one of them will tell their own story. So what I like to do is start with my main pieces, which would be your upholstered pieces, seating, and then you start adding in with your tables as your accents. So you start getting the feel, you start getting the vibe, you start adding in some metals. Maybe you want to do some black and gold. Maybe you want to do some chrome with some black finishes. Now, this doesn't mean that you have to continue that for everywhere. Because if you're doing, say, black and chrome finishes, a little bit more modern, a little bit more cool looking, you should definitely bring in some organic finishes, some woods, some cements, and that could be done with in white, in gray. So that itself is already telling a tale. It's showing different elements. It's creating dimension. You're bringing in different textures. Now, if you're going on the other side with a little bit more of that bling and luxury feel and you want to do, say, a lot of gold accents with some black accents or gold with some white accents, you can bring in things like finishes like marbles. You can bring in some glass. You could bring in some metals and just kind of mix it all in together. Doesn't mean that if you have a sofa with two end tables, that those two end tables have to match. One can be gold, the other one can be, have a gold base with a black marble top, and that would work perfectly well too. However, the only thing you should watch out for is if you're putting table lamps on them, make sure they're both the same height. Now then you come to your coffee table and you need to choose a coffee table. Well, what do? Do you go with the gold and black or do you go with the one with the white metal top? And that's where it gets fun because you could go with either one. You already have both of those kind of setting the mood for what's gonna come in the middle. So either one would be perfectly fine. You could do a black table at that point or something with a brass with a white marble top or even a glass top. So definitely don't be afraid of mixing materials, mixing finishes, mixing in styles. Sometimes when you have an overly traditional house and you want to make it a little bit more updated, the best thing to do is change around some furniture, bring in some modern art, bring in some modern pillows. So really have fun with whatever it is that you're doing. All right, guys, and now to recap our video, let's go through all of the points that we discussed about what not to do when styling your house. The first thing on the list is don't start your project blindsided. Have a vision, have an idea, have an inspo. The second thing, don't go wild just loving every furniture you see and buying it because you want to make sure it fits in your room. So make sure placement of furniture and size of furniture is on point. And the third thing you want to do is not to choose the wrong size rug because it can completely destroy your whole design and take all of your efforts and put it down in the garbage because it just won't feel right and it just will not look completed properly. And the fourth thing was choosing the right size art for your room. Because when you don't have artwork or you have the wrong size artwork, it can also really do some damage to the space planning. The last thing on the list is have fun with your pieces. Don't think that everything has to be matching. You don't have to match everything. You can mix and match your metals like I've been saying since day one. You can have fun with the upholstery you're choosing, with the artwork and the style. Mix it up, have fun with it, but make sure you got your theme in check. And guys, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment below, subscribe to the channel, and if you haven't checked us out on Instagram, make sure you do so at Style with Sanaz. We're also on TikTok now, so make sure you check us out there. We're having so much fun with this TikTok kind of concept going on out there. It's fun, we're loving it, so make sure you check us out there as well. And we'll catch you next time. Later.